Good evening. It is April 10th, 2019. It's 5:32. It is the monthly meeting of the Urbana Human Relations Commission. Could we please have a roll call?
Frances Rigberg Baker. Here. Carol Bradford. Stacy Burnett.
Present.
Lisa Mosley.
Here.
Daniel Larson.
Here.
Peter Resnick.
Here.
Catalina Thomas. Samuel Bindum. Lolita Dumas.
Here.
Brianna Donald.
Thank you. Looking over tonight's agenda, are there any additions, edits, or corrections that need to be made? Or if not, is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the agenda.
Second it.
Alrighty, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you. Looking over the minutes from our February 13th, 2019 meeting, is there any additions, edits, or corrections that need to be made? Or if not, is there a motion to approve, please?
I'll move we approve the minutes.
A second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. All righty. Here comes the lightning round. Our next item is public participation. Give it a second. Seeing none, hearing none, we can move on. We have no old business, and we have no new business. So, Vasilia, the stage is yours.
Okay, let's start with the EEO workforce stats. Have you guys had an opportunity to look over those? Yes.
Yes. Peter.
Well, for at least purposes of discussion, I will make a motion to approve the following as per staff recommendations. Bacon Farmer Workman Engineering for 1 year, Hoare for 1 year, Growmark for 1 year, Springfield Electric for 1 year, and Green Lane Environmental for 2 years. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Any questions, any comments? Peter.
Well, you'll note that I didn't make a recommendation on A&R because staff didn't make a recommendation on A&R. Vasilia, you want
That's
to
correct.
talk about that a bit?
Yes, A&R submitted their paperwork, and once we received it, we had a number of questions about the changes in their numbers since the last approval for their workforce, and I contacted them, and the young lady I spoke to said that she was going to send me some additional information that would help explain, number one, the shift in their numbers, and number two, any recruiting efforts that they had made since our last certification. And I have not gotten that information from her.
And I'll also say for myself, I mean, Growmark and A&R are sort of in the same category of we've had these discussions before about their ability to recruit, questions about their union participation, and I think this is something that we should probably have a bigger discussion at next meeting about what to do with regard to unions and such.
Other comments or questions? Stacy.
In regard to Springfield Electric, it looks like they're reporting on Springfield corporate as a whole. Is there any way we can get a breakout of the local Springfield Electric?
Yes. That is on,
I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
oh, that's okay. Give me just a moment. I'll let you know what their numbers are.
I just know it's a very small company locally, so.
And while she's looking, what's our cutoff for we give them the 2 years size-wise one way or the other?
15.
15?
15.
Do you want to talk more about Growmark, Peter? Or?
I mean, Growmark's total population went up. Their African-American population stayed exactly the same. Number of women dropped by 2. Latino stayed exactly the same, and the numbers for each of for African-American and Latino are 2 and 1 respectively. The numbers are just not going anywhere. So, yeah. I certainly would take a friendly amendment to 6 months if someone wanted to offer that. 1 year gets them the letter, one way or the other. I don't know if staff had a feeling one way or the other whether 6 months or 1 year made a difference.
Well, I think that probably we need to take a different approach in terms of dealing with those companies that are repeat kinds of numbers. And I would still like to leave their number at a year certification to give us enough time to figure out how we can more effectively address these kinds of issues. Because 6 months, it's going to be December before you know it. So, so I would still, if the commission approves, I would like to leave theirs recommended for 1 year.
Well, and the other question, and this, I guess, regards A&R Mechanical as well, because right now we're not approving A&R Mechanical, waiting for more. Do any city services have, like, deadlines coming up where they're going to want to use these two?
Yes. Well, first of all, their certification expires at the end of this month. And yes, there is city projects for them to work on. So one solution could be giving them the minimum in.
And then the city can go ahead, complete contracts with them while we get going, and
Yes.
And I'm open to either one, whichever way. I am ambivalent. So if someone makes a friendly amendment, I'll surely accept it.
For A&R Mechanical? We're talking about A&R Mechanical?
Well, A&R we haven't even.
Okay.
I'm sorry. A&R we haven't even made a recommendation for, so we were going to sit on it. But if staff thinks it's a good idea to approve them for 6 months, if someone wants to make a friendly amendment to go to 6
We're
months.
talking about Growmark?
No, A&R,
Oh, A&R.
which we haven't made. Well, actually, yeah, I could just simply add, someone could make a friendly amendment to add A&R for 6 months. And then Growmark, the question is, do we leave it at 1 year as I had moved, or do we change them to 6 months?
I make a motion, we move A&R to 6 months. A&R Mechanical Services for 6 months.
So I'll accept. Who was the seconder as a friendly amendment?
I'll second it.
No, who was the seconder of the original?
We didn't.
Lisa, yes.
I made the first motion.
It was Lisa.
Lisa, okay, so you
I
have to
second.
accept the friendly
accept
amendment.
Thanks for knowing the rules.
I fear the day when I become the
What are you saying?
the person who knows the rules here. So, okay, so we've got A&R for 6 months, and still the rest of them for 1 year each, except for Green Lane, which is 2.
Springfield Electric's local is 16 and 1 African American in their office here on Mattis.
So we're right on the borderline, and, yeah,
That one I'm not.
I mean, still not good
And
numbers.
they, historically, Springfield does not have the turnover. So hiring more minorities as we would like, they just don't have the turnover that other businesses do.
Any last comments or questions, or everybody comfortable? Should we revisit it one more time for the record, or does it matter? Or?
So I'll read them off again. If people like, Bacon Farmer Working Engineering for 1 year, Hair Horror Construction for 1 year, Growmark for 1 year, Springfield Electric for 1 year, A&R Mechanical for 6 months, and Green Lane Environmental for 2 years.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Thank you. All righty, Vasilia.
Okay. I think you have in front of you my monthly summary of projects and events that we are working on as staff. The first one is the HRC Information Fair. We talked about that, I think, last meeting. that we just need to start becoming more visible in the community and start attending events put on by other organizations, just so that we can have a face there. Monique and Preston both attended the Disability Expo. And Monique, you want to share a little bit about it?
Yes, it was absolutely amazing. I want to say they said it was over 250 vendors there, local vendors, handing out information. Our particular table, we did focus on handing out information for HRC regarding human rights for people and the things that this body does focus on by way of discrimination underneath the ADA. So they were really excited about that, and they were excited that Urbana does have someone in their corner if someone were to discriminate against them because of their disabilities by way of jobs or residents getting housing, adequate housing. One thing that was noted was Champagne's HRC. They actually came out, and the things that they brought, and I'll see what you guys think about it. We want to possibly get some items that has the City of Urbana logo on it, so that when we're there, we can give that stuff out to people, and basically it'll be easier. Basically, keep Urbana on people's minds, whether it's pens, pencils, cups, any of that stuff. So let me know you guys' thoughts with that, as far as things that we can give out when we do go to different events.
Thanks, Monique. Any questions for Monique? Item number 2 is community-based boot camp coding program. I have managed to track down someone who actually appeared to be interested. So I didn't want to put her name in my notes today because I have not met with her. We have tentatively spoke, and she expressed an interest in assisting me in trying to lay the foundation for such an idea, and I should have more information for you at our next meeting. The purchasing ordinance is moving towards its final draft form. Hopefully, for our May meeting, I'll have more information for you. Todd has been very busy, but he has pretty much completed the draft. And from once we get a completed draft, then we will be taking it to City Council for final approval. In terms of any types of discrimination inquiries or complaints over the last March, April, I had 3 individuals contact the office. None of them resulted in any formal complaints being filed. One was in the area of housing, the other employment, and the other is public accommodations. And the only other comment I'd like to make is that we will have a visitor here for our May meeting. She contacted me. She was really planning on coming for our April meeting. And she contacted me a couple of days ago and just said that she had a conflict. So I invited her for our May meeting. She'll go over their recruiting strategies, how they go about hiring folks. And so this is one of the companies that I did send a letter to, and she responded right away.
Great. Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Are there any announcements? Fran?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Hold on for 1 second, please. Sorry, didn't mean to
Oh.
rush.
I'm sorry, I'm done.
Okay. Fran?
All right. This is by way of follow-up on the Suburban Express discrimination case.
Thank you.
There was an article in today's News Gazette by the same fellow, reporter, Ben Zichterman. And I refer you to that article. It's on the front page, above the fold, for details, but I'd like to share with you some things that I thought were especially important. It says that the company has reached a consent decree subjecting it to 3 years of monitoring, and it has also has to pay the Attorney General $100,000 and agree not to discriminate or harass its customers, with both of which activities it did in the past, and the Attorney General's office announced this. The headline only refers to the $100,000. Bus firm owes $100,000 refunds as part of deal, and that money will be used for refunds if people wish to claim them if they qualify. But I thought equally important, they have some other requirements placed on them. If you recall, they had a very offensive racist advertisement, and they also were in the habit of harassing people who filed any kind of complaint against them. The Suburban Express will have to include a link to the form to make to request a refund. It has to have a link to this form on its home page, on ticket confirmation emails and marketing emails, and it can't retaliate against customers who seek a refund, which would have been its old way of operating. To ensure compliance, the man who runs this company, Teppan, and his employees will have to take an anti-discrimination class each year and keep copies of all complaints and advertisements for review by the Attorney General's office every 180 days. And I think, as you were mentioning something about ways of influencing people other than just shortening their approval period, and I thought that was important. This company, Suburban Express, also continues to face lawsuits from its insurance companies. But there's more background in the article if you're interested, and it's available online or in the paper.
Thank you, Fran, for the update. Any other announcements? All righty, then we are adjourned.